Hi, and welcome to your core class today. This is going to be more of a core yoga-focused workout, but not necessarily a full practice. We will not include centering, and we won't include Shavasana at the end. If you ever have a short amount of time, you just want to get a quick workout in something to warm up the center of the body, this is a great thing to put on. Before we get started, I'd like to just keep in mind that in yoga, we are always working on the center of the body, keeping that tight and stable in order to create space through the rest of the body. So any yoga practice would be considered a core practice. This is going to focus on building a little strength in that area where we usually forget about it, which can lead to further issues if we don't correct it. It can lead to low back issues, hamstring and hip issues, and then even affect our posture. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is if you can kind of take just a breath to release any preconceived notions you have about what the ideal core would look like and throw that out the window. Our core is a large area of the body, not what you'd consider just a six-pack look, just the front. It wraps from our rib cage down to the top of our hips and all the way around the body. The idea that our core has to be completely flat is not reality, and the idea that this is the smallest part of our body is also not reality. This is the area that builds so much strength and gives us so much support in all of the other things we do in our daily lives. So just kind of get rid of what you think about that and bring in the idea of strength and stability and more mobility for your practice, for your life, for your day-to-day movements. We will get started with a breathing technique, and if there is one thing you do for your core and your low back, it would be this breath. This is called a Kapalabhati breathing, and it's an abdominal breathing. It's a little hard to do over video because I don't have you all here in the room to kind of correct and make sure you're doing it properly, but the main thing you want to make sure of is that your your abdomen is moving, so we want it to be going in and out. I use my hand here because that really helps me get the feeling of moving in and out, but it's going to look like a little bit like this. The point of it is to not just breathe in the chest. We're really taking this quick drawing in of the abdominal wall to push the air out. Okay, so you'll see the chest moving, but really the movement starts down here. Okay, so let's give the first one a try. If you've never done this before, I suggest starting out through the mouth. You're going to make your lips like you're sucking through a straw. And we're going to inhale all the way through the nose. Exhale all the way. Inhale about halfway and purse the lips. And then we'll begin. Let that last one exhale all the way out, draw the chin to the chest, and then draw in through the base of the spine, pulling the low belly in, empty out everything you have, and then big inhale through the nose again. Let the tongue hang out, lion's breath. Good, nice job. All right, so the next time we try with the mouth closed, and we'll do that breathing through the nose. So it's a same movement, short, quick breath. The idea of that abdominal breath and the focus on the exhale is we don't want to be going in and out like we're hyperventilating. So it shouldn't sound like this to you. It should sound like just the exhale. The inhale will happen naturally. So go ahead and set up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale all the way through the nose. Inhale halfway through the nose. Keep the mouth closed, jaw relaxed, and begin. chin to chest, lower belly in. Lion's breath out. Nice job. All right, we usually do our Kapalabhati breathing in sets of 3. So feel free to do one more set. If you're feeling like it's not for you, you don't have to do it. All right, so go ahead and take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale out all the way. We'll try to speed it up just slightly. You can follow along with me or follow at your own pace. Inhale halfway. Chin to chest, all the air out. Find that lock at the base of the spine and the throat. Inhale when you're ready. Nice job. All right, roll those shoulders back and down. We'll set up in a tabletop position next. So with core, as you might imagine, plank is a big part of our core practice. Finding stability at the center of the body in tabletop first. So tuck those toes under. Lift the knees up to hover for just a moment and notice how the center of the body, you have to draw that belly button in and the low back gets wider in order to find that stability at the center. Try that one more time. And then place the knees back down. Good. We'll come up to downward dog first and check in and see how this feels. Be nice to open the legs if you were kneeling. But also notice if you're collapsing in the low back, letting the belly just hang down. See if you can draw the low belly in and widen out the low back. From here, we'll inhale forward into our first plank just to see where we are. So my stance was a little short, so I walked my hands forward, making sure my wrist crease is under the shoulders and I can bring my hips down without letting them sag. On an inhale, we'll come back up. Exhale, heels lower. Inhale forward. Exhale to hold. Inhale back. Exhale to find ease. So we inhale for the movement and exhale to stabilize. Good. One way we can also try that out is our exhale draws the belly in just like the practice we just did and gives us more strength. Exhale all the way, belly button pulls in. Inhale back. Last one. Come down to the knees. Either sit on the heels or come into a tabletop position and just find a way to rest. Maybe those wrists need a little release. Good. And then we're going to come into a plank hold next. So go ahead and walk the hands forward. You might even find that same handprint you did before. We'll roll the shoulders back and down. If you prefer a knee down plank, you'll slide the knees back slightly. Bring the shoulders over the wrist crease and feel the butt squeeze, core engaged. Okay, we want to make sure you're not letting the hips sink down too low, but also not stick up in the air. So somewhere in the middle where you feel that core to start to brace. Good. If you're feeling good there and you want to go a little further, tuck the toes under and come up into your plank. For a plank hold, feet slightly wider might feel good. And then we focus on the muscles of the face and what you're telling yourself. Here is where we just breathe and focus. Embrace a little shake if that's what's going on. One more. Lower knees down. Find control first, and then release it back. Again, child's pose, table pose, or just roll out those wrists. All right, we're going to bring some movement back in. So we're going to go from a plank to a forearm plank, a little closer to the floor. Again, you can do these from the knees or the feet. The main thing we want to focus on is the hip swing. Of course, they're going to move as we go up and down, but we don't want to create this big sway where we lose all control at the center of the body. So let's go ahead and set it up in our full plank up on the hands first. Good. And we're going to start with the left elbow, lowering down, and then right. Then we go left and right. Lower right, and then left, and come up right, and then left. Continue to alternate which arm you start, and then come up. Good. Lower right, and then left, right, left. Last one here. Left and right, left and right, and then right and left, right and left. Come on down. Roll those shoulders back. Big sigh lets that heat, that hard work out from the body. All right, so you might start to notice a little bit of heat building, a little fire through the center of the body. That is exactly what you want. The next pose we're going to do is side plank. So go ahead and set up in a tabletop position, and then we're going to step the right foot to that right edge of the mat. Toes are going to be on the floor, heel is on your mat. Good, so knee is pointed open. From there, left hand centers under the shoulder, and then come up onto the back toes. Check in and see how you feel. Right hand can rest on the knee. If you're feeling good, continue to open that back foot so all 10 toes will face towards the right. And then we're going to reach up. Before coming into the full pose, reach down, grab that underside of the torso, outer edge of the core, side of the core, and then reach up. Good. So again, we're getting into the side body, just as much strength and support as the front and the back. Take 2 more full breaths. Pivot on the back toe first. Then lower the knee down. Good. And then hands down, step back to table. We'll set up for the other side. So start by stepping the left foot forward. If it doesn't land where you want, grab it with the hand, wiggle it the rest of the way there. Right hand centered, tuck the back toe under. We'll pivot on the outer edge of the back foot. All 10 toes will face towards the left this time. And then left hand reaches up. Check in. And then reach down, draw up. So you're feeling that squeeze in order to create space. Also a great hip opener. Relax the muscles of the face. Find some ease even when you're challenged. Last one. Good. We'll lower back down. Pivot on the back foot. Knee down, hand down, and then back to tabletop position. We're going to try side plank one more time. If that was enough, you're going to stay right there working on side plank from that variation. I'll give you a step to take it a little further if you choose. So come on back out to tabletop. Take the right foot, step it up. Pivot, tuck the back toe under, and then pivot. And then lift up. Maybe you can get that work at the underside of the core, underside of the body, to lift up first. From here, stay where you are, or step the right foot on top of the left. We're going to breathe here for 2 more full breath cycles. Lower the right hand down. Try to find plank first. And then lower those knees down. Nice job. Sit it back for a moment, and then we'll set up the other side. Left foot steps forward. Tuck the back toe under. Lift and pivot. Reach up and then squeeze up. Set up here and stay, or left foot stacks on the right. We're still creating a little bit of a crunch on the right side in order to lift the hips up higher so they don't scoop down towards the floor. 2 more breaths. And then back to plank. See if you can get one more hold. Very last plank will do, so make it a good one. And then lower knees down. Nice job. All right, we'll bring it around, sitting on the hips. If you have a strap, we'll use that in a few moments. If not, you don't have to use it. All right, we're going to start off with some variations of boat pose. So we'll set up for the very basic version of boat as I talk a little bit about what boat is. So the feet are down, our knees are about hip distance apart, creating that line from the center of the knees to the center of the feet. And then we reach right behind the knees and lean back. Good. As you lean back, the first thing you want to notice are your shoulders. Are they rounded forward? Is the chin tucked towards the chest? If that's the case, lift back up. Get a nice straight spine first, and then lean back. Good. So we want to keep the chest lifted, like you're trying to look up on a diagonal. And here you might already notice that the abdominal wall is firing up. Your low back muscles are also working to support you on the back of the body, and the top of the thighs are engaging as well. Good. I'm going to continue to build into some different variations, so you choose how far to go. Your sign that you're working too hard or that you're losing proper form or posture is that you round in. Okay? So that's a sign to back off, do a little less, or correct the shoulders, and breathe. We use our exhale to tighten up the abdominal wall and create a little bit more stability. Last one. Let's step those feet out, wiggle out the legs. A little twist might feel good. Add in whatever you need for your body. All right, the next one we'll take very similar, but we're going to have the hands down behind us. So find the space that works for your body, maybe fingers out, back, or in, whatever you choose. Roll the shoulders back. You have a slight bend in the elbows, and then walk the feet in. You're creating that V shape between the chest and the front of the thighs. Stay here, or lift the feet. You'll have to bend the elbows a little bit, but you don't want to sink in. We want to keep the chest lifted with the elbows slightly bent. Relax the muscles of the face. Steady breath. Noticing a little shake. If your legs start to lift up and your torso falls back, see if you can correct that. Bring your chest up to about knee-shin height. One more breath. Good. Lower down. If you can hold longer, great. I'm still working back up after my abdominal wall was moved around by baby. All right, next one. We'll go ahead and reach the hands to the knees. And then we'll create that setup once again. This time our goal is to lift the feet off the floor. So inhale, reach it up. And hold on. So slight bend in the elbows can keep the chest lifted, keep you nice and tall, and then maybe you straighten out those arms. If you're still feeling good there, see if you can let the arms go. We're creating one line, shoulders to wrists to knees to ankles. 3 more breaths. Hold the back of the knees, lean forward, lift up. Good. You can give a little hook around the back of the knees and just let that low back release. You could also let the legs go forward again. All right, nice job. We'll go ahead and take our full boat pose, which is considered a bind. We use our peace fingers around our big toes. Completely optional. You can choose one of the variations we've just done if you don't want to do this one. Sometimes the hamstrings can also get in the way of this because it doesn't allow us to straighten the legs. So we reach on the inside of the legs and take our peace fingers around those big toes. Okay? The first part is balance. So we lift up, create space, and then we try to find that point of balance on the sit bones. Keep the chest lifted and see what happens if you start to straighten the legs. The idea is that the arms and the legs are in a straight line. You're pushing through the heels. You're looking up. Chest is lifting. Don't let holding onto the feet, let those shoulders round. Feel free to play around here. You can stay here. You might go wide. You might come in again. You might fall out of it. Take 1 or 2 more breaths and come out when you're ready. And then I'm going to use the strap to show a variation of that. We did the hard part first, and now we'll get into the fun part. Again, if you don't have a strap, you'll just have to do the hard part again. So go ahead and take your strap. You're going to loop through both buckles and then just back through one. This creates a large loop in your strap. Okay, you want it to be almost to the very end. When you put your strap on around the body, you're going to slide it to the upper back. This is a really great support if you've been rounding in your boat. So it's right under the armpits. And then just position it so the tail of the strap is towards you so you can easily tighten up if you need to. All right, from here, you're going to reach it around the balls of the feet. And then just check in, hands behind, and extend those legs up. Nice job. All right, if your knees aren't straightening, then give yourself more slack. And these straps are a average size. I think these are 8-foot straps. If you're using one you borrowed from the studio or a standard yoga one, they might not be appropriate for your proportions, so that's fine. Good. If the knees need to stay bent, it'll look like this. Good. You're going to lift the chest, use that support on the back, and then hands might reach out for balance. Get that core engaged. So there's still a little bit of core, but it is challenging to hold. That's where that balance work really comes in. Take 1 or 2 more breaths wherever you are, and then come on out. Good. All right. Our last little piece of fire for the core is our half boat to full boat. So we're going to set up from the ground first. Go ahead and lie on the back. Good. Extend the legs out long and just check in on your low back. And then we're going to roll the shoulders back, reach the fingertips towards the feet, and pull the shoulder blades up like you're doing a little tiny crunch. Good. Notice what's going on in the body. Do you immediately feel it in your low back? If so, pull your belly button down a little bit more and maybe bend the knees. Good, so it'll look a little bit more like this. Take an inhale, and then see if you can get the legs to hover. They might be here. They might be out long and straight. Decide where you need to be. With your next breath, we're going to exhale and come on up to our full boat, and then come into half boat. Exhale. Inhale. Use that abdominal breathing like we did in the beginning of class to push the air out and make space to rise. We have 2 more. And lower it back down. Nice job. Circle out. Find any posture that helps open up your body, maybe a twist. Usually feels good after that core work. Great job. Feel free to revisit this practice anytime you need a little extra work. Namaste.